Hello, fellow filmmakers. My name's Landon Parks. I'm a co-producer and president at Mysteria Filmworks Limited Company. We're a small film production company based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And welcome to our first Filmmaking Quick Tips video. Today we're going to be answering a question submitted by Timothy R. from Indiana. And Timothy asks, what do you do when you can't afford to pay your crew, yet you want to be fair to them? I want to make a film with some local college students who are willing to do it, but many want some kind of guarantee they will be paid if the movie makes money. Okay. Um, it seems like a simple question, but it's a question with some very hard answers. The proper way to do it, of course, would be to raise the budget to pay everybody at least minimum wage, and preferably defer anything above minimum wage that you're paying them to a later date. That would be the best way to do it. There are alternative ways, though, and I'm only going to tell you the legal ways to do it. There are other ways, like hiring your cast and crew as independent contractors and hiring them as W-2 employees and deferring their pay altogether. Neither one of those two are legal. No matter what anybody tells you, film crew and actors do not qualify by any definition as an independent contractor, and it's never legal to defer 100% of payment for a W-2 employee. Every state has laws. In Ohio, where we are, you have to pay every 15 days. If you don't, you can face heavy fines and even jail time from the state. So I'm not going to tell you those ways to do it. I will tell you, though, how we produce some of our shows. What we do, we actually bring on our cast and crew as members in an LLC. And there are a couple of ways you can do that. We simply form an LLC for each film that's separate from our production company. We as a production company maintain about 50% ownership of that LLC, and we designate the other 50% ownership to be spread out among the cast and crew depending on their roles, how long they work, etc. So essentially everyone who works on the production, cast, crew are effectively members of the LLC, and as such they get they're not paid a salary, so we don't have to hire them as W-2 employees. We don't have to worry about employing them as independent contractors, because the state and federal governments say that members in an LLC are effectively self-employed or are partners, and partners cannot receive W-2 income from their respective business that they co-own. So what we do, again, we set up stipulations in the LLC operating agreement stating who has control over what on the production and how the shares are split up, the membership shares. And then, like I said, all of our cast and crew are of the 50% or so of the remaining membership units left in the LLC. It's split according to what their job is, their role, how long they're on set. We actually have a vesting schedule where when they come on set, they sign in with a card and sign out when they leave, and they actually earn so many units of membership in the LLC depending on how many hours they work. And that's effectively called a vesting schedule. That way it's fair to everybody. If you only work on the set one day, your ownership is equal to that particular time you worked on the set. There are multiple ways to do it. You can assign people a certain amount of shares right up front and be done with it entirely. But again, that's how we do it. If you have the money to hire them up front, great. Do it that way. Keep it legal. If you don't, however, and you want to make a movie and you want to make sure that people are getting treated fairly and that they will get paid if the movie makes any money, you can try our method. It really does work, and at first we were concerned about giving up 50% ownership of the LLC due to control issues and things like that. However, LLC operating agreements can be written pretty much any way you want, and what we do, we actually write in there that the 50% of ownership shared to the cast and crew aren't controlling members. So only the production company that owns the 50% or whatever amount we allocate, it doesn't even have to be 50%, it can be less than that, are the ones that control the company and make all the decisions and things like that. So that's the way you can keep from having that dilemma if that's what you're worried about. And again, I'm not an attorney and this is not legal advice. If you're planning on starting a business, please seek out the help of an attorney. They will be able to better help you through this than what I can. I'm just offering you that bit of advice, telling you how we make our movies. And as a final closing note, I hear this all the time. There's the train of thought, never work on a film for free. And then there's also the train of thought, if you're going to work on a film for free, try to avoid the ones that offer deferred payments or points or things like that. For starters, number one, if we had to pay everyone who worked on every film, a lot of films wouldn't get made. So let's just be realistic on that front. Secondly, I would never suggest that anybody work on a film set without a contract in place and without some method of recouping some money from that if the film makes any money. Because here's the thing. With modern distribution, it's not that hard for a movie to make some money. You may not get rich off of it, but it's not that unheard of for a movie to be able to sell $5,000 worth of DVDs or advertising on YouTube if they put it up for free and put ad breaks in there. You no longer need those big distribution companies to actually make a little bit of money on these movies. So, I would suggest that actors and crew never work for 100% free on any movie, even a short film, because short films can be monetized online, and they can make money. So, and if you're a filmmaker, do not ask people to work 100% for free, telling them they'll never make anything. At least give them the ability to make something if you make something. Be honest with them up front, though. Tell them up front they will probably make something, but there's no guarantee what it'll be. It may not even be enough to cash the check. But you're going to be fair to them, and you're going to split things evenly, because essentially when your cast and crew are working for free, they are essentially investing in your movie. They're no longer your employees. They're essentially investors in your movie. They're not, the time they dedicate to your movie is an investment on their part. It's the same thing as if they donated an equivalent amount of money to cover their wages. So they expect a return on that investment, and they expect a return on that investment better than if they would have got paid up front. Or at least that's the way to treat it going into it. So just keep those in mind. And yeah, that answers our first quick tip of the day. We'll be going over some other questions here soon. And signing out, this is Landon Parks, co-producer and president at Mysteria Filmworks. Have a great evening.